Hi, and welcome to our Retired Nomad Adventures.
I'm Retired Rick.
And I'm Daphne, and we sold everything to travel the world 1 month at a time. And this month, we are in the beautiful Portimão, Portugal. So in today's video, we're going to take you all around the town, show you our first initial impressions, give you some of those initial costs, and also take you on a tour of our Airbnb. So why don't we take them on a tour now?
Enjoy.
Welcome.
This is our Airbnb in Portimão, Portugal. So when we first came in, we were like, what's going on here? So we're in a little foyer area, and there are 4 doors here. So Rick, you could take us through door number 1.
Door number 1.
Okay. So door number 1. So Rick's taking us into the bedroom. So we know that's our big pile of luggage, so that's there. In fact, we haven't even unpacked yet because we wanted to show you the Airbnb before we started spreading our stuff everywhere. So it's great. The bed looks nice and big. I sat on it. It feels wonderful. There's a nice full-length mirror. We've got the TV there. And then the closet area seems really nice. So there's all kinds of hangers. There's extra linens, towels, lots of storage areas. So I feel like we're going to be happy with the closet area. There is the TV. There's an air conditioning unit here, which is really nice. So it's separate from the living room. There's a little sitting area, the end tables, and then a nice little vanity next to the light that comes in through the sliding glass door, which is also nice. Then one of the things that made us select this is this nice little outdoor patio area. So they have like a really cute little teak table. And then this is high season right now. It's mid-August. But our balcony overlooks the pool that you can see is definitely getting used with kids for their summer break. So we'll have some nice times sitting out here enjoying the sun. There's also a nice drying rack there, which is great because it's warm, and so we'll be able to wash our clothes and have them dry quickly. Okay, so this is the bedroom, and that was door number 1. All right, so then you can pick the next door, Rick.
Door number 2
Yeah?
is the bathroom.
Ah, okay. So the bathroom, they've done it really nicely. So a nice big cabinet, so all the vanity stuff will fit there. A nice clean shower. We have a washing machine in here, so we can wash our clothes and then go hang them out there. So nothing super exciting, but a nice, very nice bathroom. All right. Door number
3, the final door.
Well, we should say this door number 4, we believe it's locked. So we believe it's the owner's private things that he doesn't, he just keeps locked behind there. Okay, so door number 4 is our final door. And this is the living room, kitchen, and dining room area. So in our living room, I guess I'll start with the dining room area. So this is our dining room table. The owner was very kind and left us some treats, a little tote bag, and a bottle of wine. So that was super nice. And this looks like a really nice table to be able to do some work on and then also have dinner on. The couch looks super cozy and comfy, and it's even a pull-out sofa, so if anybody wanted to join us. And then there's a nice big TV in here. There is the refrigerator and then the kitchen area. And I took a little nose through the cupboards and drawers, and it looks like it's really nicely equipped. So I feel like we're going to have all the things that we need to make our dinners. And then we've got a little window there. And then another sliding glass door that leads right out to that table again. So that's really nice. So this is our Airbnb in Portimão, Portugal, and we'll be here for 28 days. We've been at the Airbnb for about 6 days now, and I'd say we're really happy with this Airbnb.
It's nice. You walk in, it's nice and clean, and it's just refreshing, and it's just a really nice Airbnb.
Feels good. The bed feels really good. Yes. The couch is super comfortable. The kitchen's really well equipped. There's plenty of hot water. What else? Oh, we love sitting out on the patio and having dinner, and so I've definitely enjoyed this Airbnb.
Very nice.
There are a few things to note, though, about the Airbnb, and one of them is that we are here during summer, so it is peak season. It's August, and so this Airbnb, some of the units are sold as an all-inclusive, so they have like a little cafe downstairs so people can get some of their meals included. And so I would say that this is my guess is it's a budget-friendly family destination in beautiful Portimão, and so there are all kinds of families here really enjoying their summer vacation. So it is crowded right now. Very crowded.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's people on the beach everywhere, walking everywhere, on the pool. It's nice to sit out on the balcony and see everybody having fun, but there's a lot of people.
I think I've said this before, but it is like those Norman Rockwell paintings where you get to kind of watch the people move, and we can get caught up there for a long time, just people watching. Another thing to note is we had our first maintenance call at an Airbnb, right? So why don't you explain that?
Who knew? Whenever you do laundry, you just throw your clothes in there, close the lid, push the button, and it goes. Well, that's what I did. I threw my clothes in there, I closed the lid, I pushed the button, and it didn't go. It made a loud banging noise, and it was stuck. So the drum was stuck. So we had to call somebody out. We called the owner, and he was really
responsive
right away. He had his repairman come out, and after a little bit, we got it. And what it was some clothes got wedged up in between the drum and the outside. So what it is, it's like a clamp that closes around your clothes that you're supposed to close that clamp before you close the door. Well, I didn't know that. Well, now I do. So note to self,
and
close the clamp first.
In your defense, there was no instructions, and we just really did think you just threw the clothes in there. But
after there was a language barrier, but the repair man was able to show me exactly how to do it, and no problem after that. We've done a couple loads of clothes and no issues.
No issues. And then the other thing that's great about here, speaking of washing, is that we can hang our clothes to dry, and because the weather is so great, our clothes dry like in an afternoon. Yeah. So it doesn't even take a full day to dry your laundry. So that's been really great. The other thing about this Airbnb that we like is the proximity to the beach, right? So we're just a very short walk away from the beach. And then the other thing to note is we had our wake-up call the same morning that the washing machine did what it did. That morning we were the building was shaking, the hangers were going.
There was a 5.4 earthquake, and it's off the coast, like 54 miles from Lisbon, I believe.
I don't know.
But it's eye-opening. We're from California, so we're used to having earthquakes, and it's really no big deal because you get used to them. But when you're in another country, you start have an eye-opening moments where you're like, well, what happens? What happens if the building crumbles? What happens? Like, what do you get? And what do you have to grab if you're being evacuated? So it's kind of scary because you're away from family, and it's just scary to be involved in an earthquake that was no problem whatsoever. There was no damages, nothing. You didn't hear anything about it. But when you're in another country and you have an earthquake, it is eye-opening because you really realize how unprepared we are.
Well, and we're in a high-rise building, and there's high-rises all around us, and so you also think you see those. In my mind, I had those images of buildings collapsing, and we're used to being in our home, in a house, when the earthquakes happen in California, and so it was scary, and we definitely felt it, and we made sure we shared all kinds of information with family back home that we had neglected to do since we got here, so it got us on the ball with some things. All right, so the total cost for our Airbnb for 28 nights, and this one was with a 59% discount, so huge discount, was $2,117.64, and I'm really happy with this.
Yes, we're really happy with it. It is high season, and we knew it was high season, but for us that was a good price.
I think it is a good price. Yeah. Okay, and it was about an hour. So we flew into the Faro Airport, and it was about an hour away, and we just booked an Uber from the Faro Airport to the Airbnb. And how much was that?
I believe that was almost $60.
It's actually 60. So you rounded down that time. So it was $68. And so that was the cost for the Uber from the airport straight here. And it was
really easy.
Yeah.
No problem. Our hardest problem was finding the Uber.
Since we've been here, we haven't purchased a SIM card. We've just been relying on the 5 gigabytes of data that we get through T-Mobile, and so we're very stingy with when we turn the phone on. And what we forgot to do when we came out of the airport is we knew that there's a direction you go to for taxis, and we just forgot that the Ubers go into a completely different area, and we didn't know where that was. So it took us a few laps around the parking lot to
We
finally
got it.
connect with him, and he was super patient and kind with us, and yeah, it was an easy straight shot here.
Yep.
All right, so why did we choose Portimão, or why did we choose? Well, I guess I should say we knew we wanted to come to Portugal, so for our first go round, we knew we wanted to go places that were familiar to us and that we loved. So we love Portugal, and the last time we were in Portugal, we went to Lisbon, Lagos, Faragudo, Villarreal de San Antonio, and Porto, and we loved every single one of those places. Like,
And each
loved
one
them.
is different in its own right.
Yeah.
They have different beaches, and it's just
Different feel completely.
different feel.
This Airbnb is close to the beach that got my attention for Portimão. So Praia da Rocha is the beach that's closest to us. And that beach is crazy beautiful. Like, it's got this long stretch of sand that feels like it goes on for miles. And it's that really powdery white sand with the beautiful big cliffs and all the caves and the little bars and cafes along the beach that you could just, you go for a walk, you want to pop in, you can pop in. And you can rent chairs there, 2 chairs and an umbrella for $12 for the day. You can also rent all kinds of watercrafts right there from the beach. So the beach really drew us here. Mm-hmm. There are all kinds of things you can do here, both day and night. There's nightclubs, all kinds of stuff for the younger crowd. We don't see any of that. We haven't seen the nighttime, but we have found our favorite walking paths, and so we'd love to take you and show you that now. So we're out this morning. It's almost 10 a.m. and we're going to take you to the main downtown part of Portimão. So it's the main downtown area just above the beach. Now, it's 10 a.m., so it's not crowded at all. The little area we just walked you through, that's sort of the downtown just above the beach area, and that little section kind of repeats itself over and over again. So you can go for a nice long walk sort of through, I'll call it a promenade, but we go for a walk every morning, and the walk that we've chosen to do in the morning is a walk along the beach. So we want to show you what our beach walk looks like.
So what we do is we will start, let's see if you can see, we will start like somewhere in here, and then we will walk all the way down along here, go around this, I don't know what you call it, a mountain or something, come out over here and walk all the way, and then we will be all the way up the very end. I don't know if you can see it, there's some boats out there, and at the very end we touch the wall, then we come back, do it again, go past our spot, and then we end up right there on the very tip.
Where the lighthouse
over
is?
there where the little lighthouse is. And then we come back, and then go on over here and go back to our hotel.
That's about 11 to 12,000 steps that we take when we do that. And what's great is these little rock formations, you have to walk through them to get from one beach area to the other. And sometimes the tide is out and we can just walk through, and sometimes the tide is in and we have to kind of wade through. We're sort of waist deep, which adds to the fun and charm of the walk. So this walk is
Kind of
a great
refreshing too. It's kind of cold, but it feels really good after you're out of it. So
speaking of
really
refreshing,
nice.
There's always little bars, little snack bar areas. Like I would say there's at least 7 different
Probably.
ones along our walk, and so we can also stop at any time if we would like a refreshing beverage to push us through. So we love this morning walk. So in addition to the places we just showed you, there's also a beautiful marina area you can go walking around, and you can get tour boats from there to go to all kinds of different places. And then there's also an old town part of Portimão that is feels very authentic and very, very authentically Portuguese, like really a much slower pace, a sweet vibe there. And then places to eat. There's no place to eat here.
You're crazy.
There's
several places to eat
everything
here.
you could want here. There is here to eat, and there's restaurant after restaurant. And so the first night we got here, we just went to the first place we saw on the promenade,
right?
That overlooked the beach, and it was. What did you get that night? Did you get?
I think I got a fish, some type of a grilled fish. And we both had drinks.
Yeah. So we both had a meal, we both had drinks, and the total for that in a beautiful restaurant overlooking the ocean was $50 or $60?
I think it was $60.
$60. Okay. So but that was for two of us to, did you have 2 beers?
Yes.
Okay. So right, we didn't.
You count my beers?
I'm not counting your beers. I just was thinking for the cost. So I thought that was fine for what we got. And then we searched best budget places to eat in Portimão. And so this one restaurant kept coming up over and over again, and it was the number one on all of these lists. And it was in sort of an off the beaten path, kind of on our way to Old Town. We walked past it, we didn't even realize it was there, and then came back around and was like, oh, we're here. The owner was so kind and wonderful. We got to sit on a little cafe table outside. When we looked at the menu, most of the things on the menu were about €6. So you could, whatever you wanted, you could get for about €6. And so, but we didn't know exactly what everything was. So the owner came out and he said, he must be used to tourists being there. And so he said, would you like some help with this? We said, yes, we totally would. So he brought out this picture and he suggested the 3 things that were on this picture. So it was a salad for 2, a sampler platter of like sardines and some kind of shrimp paste and
just all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
seafood stuff.
Yes, and then he suggested a tuna burger that we would cut in half and split, and we said that sounds fantastic. And the glass of wine there was only €1 10 cents, and your beer was
I think €2.
€2. So we had 2 glasses of wine, 2 beers, and then we thought that each of the dishes were going to be about €6. So we were expecting to pay about €20.
Because in our mind, that's what we were thinking, but we had the owner order us stuff.
So we didn't pay. We didn't ask anything. So this is totally our fault. But that little cheap budget lunch cost more than our dinner overlooking the ocean.
Well,
it was 55 euros.
It was 50. It was $50 is what we came out to.
Dollars or euros?
Yes, dollars.
Dollars.
To that restaurant, and we weren't expecting to spend that much. It was a cheap place, but the food was so good.
It was so good. So
good.
it was hard to be upset about it. The experience was wonderful, but so far we haven't found any inexpensive places to eat, but we are we're on the lookout for it. And I would say that's something in terms of a first impression is that Portimão is a little more expensive than we were expecting it to be.
What we were expecting to be.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, you think about it, we're from California. If we're eating on the beach in California, a meal that we had here, it's well over $100.
Yeah,
easy,
definitely.
Easy,
Yeah.
with the drinks we had. So not bad here.
Yes. But we're going to see if we can do better. And we have made some great meals here with food we purchased from the grocery store. And so we definitely want to take you into and show you some grocery stores. We typically split our time between 2 different grocery stores. One that has everything you could ever need, including a movie theater upstairs,
yes.
Is the Continente. I hope I'm saying that right. It's about a mile from our Airbnb, and we priced out a few things for you. So bread there is $1.44. Eggs there are $2.55 for a dozen. And then we like oat milk for our creamer, for our coffee in the morning, and the oat milk creamer is $2.55. So That's a pretty good general idea. And then we've been traveling for about 2 months now, so I have started to run out of a lot of my toiletry items. And at the Continente, it's really the only place that we can get those kinds of things. But it has a pretty good selection. It's all, grocery store or Target kind of products. But we'll show you sort of a little bit of a different grocery haul now where I shopped for some toiletries.
It's our personal items.
Yep. All right, so we just walked in. It's hot outside. I wanted to show you because it's a little bit different than what we normally get. So I'm running out of all of my toiletries, and so I desperately needed some shampoo and conditioner. In the last place we were at, I was able to get some higher end shampoo and conditioner, but I kept reading reviews about this L'Oreal, and we were at a grocery store, so this is what they had. So I was able to get some shampoo and conditioner, and then I needed some detangler, so I got some detangler. I needed some toner. This was the best size I could get for some toner. This is actually a really good price, though. It was only €2.30. I am shiny, shiny, shiny here, so I thought I needed a little bit of something to help matte down my makeup, a little bit of Nivea for some face lotion. I only brought pink lipsticks with me, so this was a bit of a splurge. I got myself a coral lipstick. We needed razors, face wash. I needed some aloe vera gel. And then, so it's been 2 months since I've gotten my hair done, and my gray hairs are out in full force. So when we were in COVID, I did my own hair. I colored my hair, and it was okay, but I definitely needed ash hair color, and I can't read this box. We did do the Google Translate on it, but it didn't say anything about ash or the color, but I'm going to give this a go, so we'll let you know how that goes. And then we got a couple of bags of chips and some salsa. And so for all of that at the grocery store today, a total of €57.69. So I think that's not bad compared to US standards for what we got, but that's the total for a little bit of an unusual grocery store haul. So right here on the main strip, you just kind of go through this entrance here, and we have a grocery store that we use about half the time, right?
Yeah, for heavy items.
Yeah.
We use it for Diet Coke and for some wine.
Yeah.
Our snack.
So any like last minute little things that we might need. So we go to the big grocery store, which is about a mile away for most things, but I'd say at least half the time we come here for those heavier items. And so we'll take you into this little grocery store. It's kind of tucked off
the side here, so we know where it's at now, but at first it took us a while to find it.
Yeah, we would walk past it all the time. In the wine section, we always go to the bottom row because all of these wines are from Portugal, and the Portuguese wines are delicious.
Really good.
When we were here last time, our everyday wine that we would drink was $1.25. Prices have gone up since we've been here, so now this bottle of wine, which is our favorite, this is the last bottle, is €1.99, and it is
good. It's really
so delicious. But we always go to the bottom row because we know that no matter what wine we get, there's no need to spend more on it. It's going to be great, no matter the price.
We have the eggs. Looks like for a dozen eggs is $2.74, and for 6 eggs is €1.29.
And then they bake these pastel de natas in their bakery, and you get 4 of these pastel de natas for €1.96. So that's a great deal, and we're picking these up today.
And bread looks like 98 cents.
So that store is a little smaller, but it sure is nice to have it so close. So now it's time for our overall impressions. So I'd say first impressions of the Airbnb, great.
Great, fantastic.
Great, yeah. First impressions of Portimão.
Good, really good, great. Great beaches, great walks, great food, just a lot of people. But we knew that, but we weren't thinking that. We were comparing it to Lagos, so it's more crowded than we expected or anticipated.
I think, like we said earlier, it's one of the more touristy places that we've been, and we're used to the crowds because we've always had to travel in July. Like that's been when we've been able to go on our vacation, so that's typically when places are their most busy. So we're used to that. We just, I think we weren't expecting in poor Portimão coming after Lagos. Like we came in, if we'd have saw these beaches and these big cliffs for the first time, we'd have been like, oh my gosh, everybody has to come here. And we still think that. But unfortunately, we shouldn't have had Lagos in our mind. We should have come with a clean slate. And I think that's something that we'll have to get better and better at, is coming into a new place just with fresh eyes, ready to see it for exactly what it is.
Because in Portimão, their high season is the middle of June to the middle of September.
Yeah, so we'd love to hear from you, your maybe holiday expectations and sort of how you had to like reframe some thinking there, or your thoughts on Portimão or Airbnbs, and so you can leave those in the comments below. We hope that you'll consider liking this video, and we really hope that you'd consider subscribing so that you can follow along with us on our retired nomad adventures. So hope to see you next week. So until next time, bye.